Well, sometimes it takes something bad to happen, or a pandemic even, for people to start asking those big questions of life. And it seems that for some, those questions are around spirituality and God. Who is God? Who am I to God? And that kind of thing. Joining me in the studio, Tanya Unkovich. Thanks for being a part of the show today.
You're always welcome.
So have you found that maybe within your circles, people are asking those bigger questions?
They're asking the bigger questions and people are talking about it more, actually.
Interesting.
Yeah, they are. It's like, there's so much in the world that feels out of control. And we go, okay, so, what can we control? Well, I can control what goes on in my mind. I can control what I feed myself, mentally. And, a lot of people who have a faith already are going, well, what I do know is I can just be closer to God. That's something that feels safe and well, the word's not controlled, but it's something where I know that there's safety at this time.
So what you're finding then is that people are prepared to have that conversation more.
Oh, without question, yeah. And, I'm even talking about it with clients, with friends.
Yeah.
They're looking for something deeper. They're looking for meaning. They are having to be with themselves more. They can't just jump on a plane. They can't do things that they once used to do.
Do you think they were just distractions, a lot of these things, from trying to find deeper meaning?
Yeah, they probably are. Well, they were available, right? So when it's available, off we get on a plane, we go here and there and everywhere, right? And we do, as humans, I suppose, we do lots of things to distract ourselves.
Yeah.
And now it's like, okay, some of this external stuff is taken away from me. What's left? Oh, wow. I've got a family. I've got a relationship. I can get closer here. Wow. What if this happens in the world? And, what am I here for? Who am I, actually?
I mean, these are some very big questions. And I'm wondering, there may be people listening in who are perhaps asking those questions for themselves. Perhaps they've always thought, I have a faith, but actually now they've had the opportunity to sit and listen to God. They're thinking, well, what does that look like for me? I know what the faith of my parents were. I know the faith of my church, but what about my faith? So what would you suggest then for those who are perhaps in that place where they're looking for a deeper faith, they're wanting something more?
Why do you want it? What is it that is driving you within? Is there something that you're searching for? Is there an emptiness within that you're now going, I've filled this emptiness within me with so many other things in my life, and now I'm prepared to fill it with something spiritual. Maybe you're coming to a place where you're going, it's not all about the material stuff. It's about spirituality. It's about peace. It's about feeling calm. It's about knowing that no matter what's going on in the world around me, whether it be a pandemic, whether it be elections, whether it be people fighting on social media, I can still come to a place of calm. What does that look like for me? Who do I want to be there with me? What does it mean to have a higher power? What does God mean? Lots of searching going on.
Lots of searching. And I guess practically, when you're asking those questions, it's easy to go, I don't know, and then go for a walk or put some headphones on or do something else. But actually, if we were to take the time to try and wrestle with those questions, we may not find answers straight away, but to wrestle with them, I guess it's about finding time for quiet and peace, right?
Yeah. And also knowing that we don't need to wrestle or fight with it, We don't need to, we just need to allow. We just need to actually allow ourselves first to be still for long enough to allow the voice of God, to allow your intuition, to allow peace, and to learn how to be disciplined with that voice in your head that sometimes just goes non-stop.
Yeah, it can.
Right? That, that Fred in your head, or that Agnes in your head, or that crazy aunt in the attic, whatever you want to call that voice in your head.
Yeah.
To be aware, firstly, that voice goes non-stop. And if you can get disciplined enough to not listen to that voice, or at least to be aware of the voice and learn how to ignore the voice, what are you going to replace it with? Sometimes the silence will be deafening. Sometimes the silence might make you feel uneasy and out of control. I'm just going to say welcome the silence. But it does take a little bit of discipline to say, I'm going to do this for 10 minutes every morning.
I think it'd be the best 10 minutes people spend, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Just to get curious.
Just to get curious, just to still your mind, just to take that time before busyness sets in, to have some quiet. I think it's a very good way to start the day. And I have to admit, I did not start my day like that today. It was sort of just I woke up and I had to get out of bed because I kind of slept in. But, often there are times when I can do it. And when I take that opportunity, there's a different feel to the day. There really is. What about prayer and creating sort of rituals as well in our life so that we can explore the spirituality further?
Well, that's a bit like taking that 10 minutes in the morning, isn't it? And if you don't have that 10 minutes, if you go, oh gosh, I can't do that in the morning, I haven't got the time, well, I'm going to invite you to say, well, why not set the alarm 10 minutes sooner? Or if you've got babies running around or whatever that is, can you have that time when you're in the shower? Can you go to the bathroom and have that time? Can you do that during your 10, 15 minutes of exercise in the morning? I love praying and walking, or I love listening to something else while I'm exercising, something that will really, spiritually feed me. There's lots of ways to find that 10 minutes. So many people at the moment are struggling with things that lockdown have created, like they're struggling with their addictions, with food, with alcohol, with being unhappy in marriages and relationships and things like that. That is the perfect time to actually strive for something greater than yourself. God, spirituality, whatever it is you want to call it, to help heal that part of you that is suffering or the relationship.
Yeah, and I think this year I've decided to be more intentional with reading the scriptures, and that's going kind of well.
Yeah,
still
great.
Early days, but it's going well, and I actually find that incredibly helpful. Incredibly helpful. Another thing I've found, devotionals that really speak to me, and that's really good. But for some people, one of my workmates, it is about the music and the worship music and the peace, or if she's wanting something more peaceful, having that more peaceful music and singing along. And so we all have our different ways of doing it, of seeking God and finding God. But I guess it's about finding your way, right?
Absolutely. And it doesn't need to be rigid. Sometimes if I awake in the middle of the night, instead of going, oh God, I'm awake, I'll never get to sleep, and then that voice goes in your head, that is when I go, oh wow, I've got a few minutes or however long I'm awake to practice my peaceful time, to pray, to listen to something that will help me calm my mind, so I might do my prayer time in the middle of the night when I'm lying there. So if I sleep in the next morning and I'm having to rush out of bed, it's okay. Yeah. So sometimes the rules around it are what make you break it.
Absolutely. Hey, I'm going to leave it there, Tanya. I mean, such good stuff to talk about. And I think there are a number, like you say, a large number of people going, what is life about? What are we here for? What part does God play in my life? Does God love me? These are huge questions. If people do want to find out more about you and the things that you do, though, how do they get in touch?
Just Google my name, Tanya Unkovich. You can go to my website, or I'm all over social media.
Thanks, Tanya.
Thank you.